coming to what you've said. I've carefully listened to the lawyer, and I only say that, quoting Frank Fanon, who said that every generation will discover its own mission, either to fulfill it or betray it. And when you talked about the sword, I wouldn't know the kind of protest we have embarked on, but Gomez can attest to it, and I wish Ore was here. He will also attest to it. And Kosi Shoro, that lost 3 of his fingers at one of our protests. In fact, it was this leg that would have gone. It was him that picked that canister from my leg and threw it away. And while he was throwing it, 3 of his fingers went. And I thank him for that. Otherwise, I would have been legless today. And with what we faced during the military, we were the foot soldiers. A lot of us were shot dead. Some of us today either decapitated by hand or by leg. Some of them never graduated. When I look at the man from Unilag, and you talked about the NANS, it is true that the NANS have lost its essence. Perhaps some IFE student would have done such. I will still follow the way of the pen rather than the way of the sword. I don't think any of you here seated is ready to lit himself up after being poured petrol and suffer that pain because of the nation or other people. It's easier said than done. You want to see the sword walk, but I pray you do not see it. It's rather unfortunate that Alpha Dennis is dead. He was the only one that was with me in recent time before his death in Kano. It was at Kano convention that I also joined in the saying after the Port Harcourt episode that no NANS convention should be held on campus because it has become bloody before what you saw at Bayelsa, where somebody was killed and people were arrested. At Kano, I was poured 1 liter of petrol, head down, a full liter of petrol. After some hoodlums have taken over the process, started shooting and all whatnot, and the stupid boy brought a lighter to lit me up. 3 times he tried it and it didn't come on. They thought I was one of the bandits that have attacked their campus, and they took my phone and thought I stole the phone and tried to ring the phone, and their phone, the network was not good. Thank God somebody rang that phone at that particular moment, and my phone rang after being poured petrol. It took the secretary of Yakasai then was the Senate President of NANS, to come up and, don't you know him? That's Comrade Ayo Adewale. They obviously know the name, but they've not seen the face. And they were very apologetic that, well, comrade, we are sorry. I said, you are sorry? But you'd have burnt me alive. So you can see the degeneracy. And I've often said there are 2 platforms that can build the Nigerian youth. And those platforms are the youth platform and the student platform. You can't escape the 2. Student platform, you must be in an academic environment. Youth platform, you can be on the street. Imodu used the youth platform to build the Nigerian labor movement that we're enjoying today. Zik, that you call Zik of Africa, also youth use the student platform to also mentor people like Nkrumah and the rest. They were nationalists, they were African, Pan-Africanists. The dynamics has changed. When we were having a common goal, it was against the military. Everybody came together that the military must go, regardless of where you come from. We were all tired of the military. But we never prepared for the struggle after military. That was where we lost it. And a lot of people did not come on board because they were saying that the military will not go. They will revert back to what they did in 1993 or revert back to what they did in 1990. I remember Shore and I went for a protest when he went around Lagos State seeking for a boss. Unilaga failed him, that he wanted to protest against the killing of Kelula Saruwiwa. Nobody wanted to follow Shore. People thought that he was mad, that he's an anarchist, is this, is that. And some of us felt, no, I haven't listened to him, that he has a point. I was commanding 5 buses in Lasu without the school management. I was paying for my drivers. I've established a newspaper, the first newspaper in Lasu that became magazine today. I had borrowed the idea from Unilag Shuttle Bus, started the shuttle bus system in Lasu. I've started a pure water partnering with UREN. We were making money. So we needed not go with the management. Because the first thing the management will use in crippling you, if you get subvention from the university. Once the money is not there, you'll be subservient to them. So we understood it very well. I've been tutored by Abubakar Momo, that is late now. We understand that the first point of empowerment is financial empowerment, an ideological precept. When you put the two together, nobody can bend you. And Showore came to LASU, I listened to him, and I brought out a 1414 bus, loaded it with students, and we went to Maman Kantagora House along Broad Street, very close to the local government. I remember when he brought down a mascot of Kensaro, we were then, I held on to it, and we started our protest. Before you know it, Operation Sweep were all over the place. They are condoned off all of the corners and entry points, started shooting. Initially, you must understand the struggle. You are going to have more of sympathizers that will come around you, not those who you have taken to battle. Those who we took to battle were less than 30, but sympathizers were over 200, onlookers. Onlookers are not indoctrinated. They are not emboldened. It is those who you have taken there that will stay. And when the shooting started, few of us were remaining, and we said, well, we will not leave. And they had the instruction to shoot us at sight. But thank God for the then Commissioner of Police, I think it was Abubakar Sav, if I'm not too wrong, that came and said, Showore, but we have spoken yesterday. Why must we continue today? The press were there to capture what would have happened. And they spoke and all of that, and that was how our lives were saved. We would have been added to the numbers. Would have been added to the numbers. The least you would do is carry candle and start burning everywhere and all of that. But I would say that we need a pen. And we need to go back to campuses. When Shegun, we were just chatting, we didn't even talk yesterday. He was having a birthday discussion. I said, okay, I will come. I left the house in the midst of traffic, trailers. I was still coming. I told him I wanted to abort the trip. He said, well, I can still meet them. I proceeded to come. Entered different form of traffic. My wife called me that our car packed up somewhere. I was on a rescue mission. I remember I still have to come to meet Shegun. So I abandoned her at Bank Anthony Way, very close to customs. I'm still here and all of that because I believe in what you're talking about. But the thing is, beyond the saying, that is why anytime they call me to campus to come and talk, go there. And that is one thing that I've bedeviled us. Many of our icons in struggle refuse to identify with the present student of the now. Yes. And you're saying that they have departed. Look, they have only met a lacuna. And in that lacuna, they have seen nothing. And that is why history is very important. And that is one thing the imperialists used. Whenever they come to colonize you, they will clean your history. Go and check it since the time of man. Anywhere a conqueror goes, the first thing is to clean that history. Because if you cannot understand your history, you don't know where you're coming from. And when you don't know where you're coming from, you lose your identity. And you borrow the identity that is confronted with you. So you cannot blame the Nigerian youth now. You should blame those people, starting from the Ali Mongo struggle, taking it back to the post-independent struggle of the what do you call this thing of 1962 now, when Britain wanted to establish their military base, Anglo Defence Park. Because these are the people that have seen it, they fought in it, and if you check the ANC, check Cuba, they never forget those two platforms. They are always going there. Where did Malema come from? Malema was not existing when Mandela and the rest were existing. He came after many decades. But of course, he saw the extract. It's like an evangelism. You keep going there. And the DSM tried to keep such, but they broke off later. You understand? We must have ideological groupings. The only ideology grouping that you have now is the grouping for the quest of taking our commonwealth. I'm not in politics for the wealth. Yes, a worker is worthy of his wages. But many of us are afraid to recapitulate from what we have professed in school. How is it said now that you have always professed egalitarianism and you are the one stealing the cheese? So it is always at the back of our subconscious. And I told them that I was going to run for election. I thank God he's not too young to run. The gamblet was picked many years after. I had posited in 2006 at the plenary of Pronaco. I still have that position paper. I remember General Buhari has attended a meeting of the June 12th anniversary of Pronaco and all of that. And my position was that we were on the dining table with Chief Enaoro, Mama Jadesola, Baba Mojola, I'm rounding up, and many of them, that an 18-year-old, if he can vote, then such person should be voted for. Not what they are doing in National Assembly now, 27 to 25. No. A lot of the older ones were against it on that table and saying that our population has increased. Baba Enaoro said no. That what is the age of enlisting to Nigerian army? Baba Mojola said he enlisted in the army at 16 and he was a paratrooper in the Boma War. And he now said, what is the contemporary age? They said 20, they said 18. He said, fine. If such a person die at the war front, what do you call him? He said, the hero. He said, what is the greatest price that you can give to a nation? Some of them said, your life. Laying down your life for a just cause. He said, if that is the case, why can't you allow an 18 to be voted for? That was how I won the argument. And I brought it to the plenary. They voted, and we won. I still have the Pronaco draft constitution. And we challenge the Nigerian government under Obasanjo then to test it through a referendum and see whether that draft constitution will be accepted or not to replace the Nigerian constitution. If that has been done, you will not be fighting for 25 to 27. Because in the UK, we have the prime minister at 24. In Jamaica, we've had the president at 19. Post-independence, we have younger people that were not even up to 25 that fought for the independence of this country and led our economy. In the blue chip companies, you see younger elements at 25, 24, 23. The founder of Apple, how old was he? The founder of Google, Facebook, how old are they? And we have such good talents here. Titi Akosa was 21 when he was called to bar, when she was called to bar. If you can interpret the law, then you can make the law. So why are you going for something less? It is said that if you hit for the stars, you get to the moon. So your expulsion should be a challenge for you to run election. Like Mikey Gaga, when he was expelled from UI. And many of governors are before him at the Ayam Oshigwe Foundation. I challenge the system. In 2008, that is why you have younger people contesting as local government chairman now. The last election in Lagos State, you can hardly find a 50-year-old contesting. By the next election, it will be lower. The assembly the same. I thank God, I'm a reference point. We can do it. But how many people can go through what we went through? I like the younger people coming up. Let's encourage them, but we must identify the good ones. Because today you say snake is swallowing money. Now monkey too is swallowing money. Those ones will swallow money with cell phones, and you won't trace it. And you have a lot of science students that are even masquerading, perhaps among us. So, pen is better. The mouth is better than the sword. We need to go back to our various enclaves to conscientize people. And those who have gained from it, you have to hold them accountable. You have to hold them. If it means blackmail them. When you were in the movement, this is what you achieve. You use the movement to get there. By the time you start blacklisting them, blackmailing them, they will be turned to do the right thing. Thank you.
Now, Barrister Inibehe, a very quick one. Brevity is a sign of mastery. So you have just 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Resist the temptation to spend more than 1 minute. From his experiential accounts, what are your takes?
I still insist you can't overrule the sword, depending on what you call sword. Sword does not mean we need to take AK-47 to government house. But we can't stop at writing and talking, which is what pain does. Except we are understanding sword to mean the same thing. I am saying we have to confront the system, not just on social media. if we want to achieve a difference, if we want to make something happen, if our leaders must listen to us, we need to take action. I do not believe till tomorrow that the Nigeria of today, the National Assembly, the presidency of Buhari and the cabal will listen to the Nigerian people because they are shouting. I use this as an example. Mass movement is what I call the sword.
Would you like to contest in 2019?
I don't think I will contest. I don't have interest. I don't believe we need, all of us have to be in the system.
But to be noble to replicate what you did here in your state.
Well, like you said, he found favor in Asiwaju. The Asiwaju in my place doesn't like me.
We'll make them like you.
I don't want them to like me. What we can do is that we are in a situation of choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea, which was the mistake we made in 2015. So I don't know whether we'll make it again in 2019. Because for some of us, we will choose not to cross at all.
Can I quickly come in?
Yes.
You're from what state, sir?
I have the microphone.
You're from what state, sir?
Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom.
Yes.
I will tell you the story of your speaker, Inibehe Effiong. Inibehe Effiong did not find favor in the system. Inibehe Effiong was expelled from school with Christy Effiong. Christy was VP National Affairs when we left Nance. I went to serve in Akwa Ibom for 1 year. You know you have 9 girls hostel and 1 boy hostel. I was at the back of Waniba Road. And I was moved into there looking for them to fight for their reinstatement. They went into hiding. I was looking for them for over 4 months until I discovered Inibehe Effiong at my hostel. The other room was occupied by one SSS man I never knew.
Yes.
Inibehe Effiong was living there. So one morning I came out very early, around 6. I saw a young man sneaking in. And I saw him, "Comrade, what are you doing here?" He said, "That is where he lives." A day before, or 2 days before, I had written a paper for Christy. She was going to deliver it in Namibia. So I encouraged him that we will fight. Even as a core member, the school was looking for me, but they didn't know the face. And we started trying to mobilize. To cut the story short, an Effiong reinstatement was fought for, reinstated, he went back, graduated as a law student, came back, engaged the system. Your former governor, Akpabio, was the commissioner for, I think, local government and chieftaincy, where one of my tenants, co-tenant, was working. In fact, he was living in a boys' quarter as far back as 1989 or 89 or 88. He first started D close to my close. But today, Inibehe Effiong is the speaker of Akwa Ibom.
Yes.
And he's doing fine.
I object to that, comrade.
Wait. He engaged the system. Remember, they never wanted. We are talking of a man that was expelled from Uyo.
Yes.
Expelled by the state.
Yes.
And he engaged them. And he found a way of entering them.
Yes.
I would say, don't run away from whoever that is controlling your system. Find a way. Find a way to worm your way in. When you get there, replicate the good idea in you and show them the positive thing that they never saw.